I want to bring in India Today's Gaurav Sawant, who's a managing editor. He looks very closely at all of this, this region, and he and I have been reporting recently from Israel and Palestine as well. Dr. Wael Awad is a senior journalist and one of the most well-regarded experts on West Asian affairs. Gaurav, I'd like to quickly come to you first. Can you break it down for us very simply to the genesis of this? Why has Iran attacked these Jaish al-Adl bases in Pakistan? What was the provocation? Why has this happened now?
Shiv, Jaish al-Adl is a Sunni Muslim terrorist organization based out of Panjgur in Balochistan. In this restive belt bordering Iran, they have repeatedly crossed the international border and targeted the security forces in Iran. They've targeted police stations, they've targeted police personnel. Just last month, 10 Iranian police personnel were killed by these terrorists. In the past, several have been abducted. And this has been an ongoing attack from these terrorist organizations into Iran. Iran has repeatedly asked the Pakistani government to take action against this terrorist organization, and these groups that operate out of this region, it's been taken up at the level of the security forces, at the level of the diplomats, at the level of foreign ministers, and yet Pakistan has done precious little or has been unable to do much in the Balochistan, the rest of Balochistan province. Finally, after the killing of these police personnel, Iran decided enough is enough. Even though there's a military exercise going on, even though the foreign minister was meeting the prime minister on the sidelines of Davos, Iran carried out a very major precision strike. The casualties are much higher from what sources tell India Today, much higher than what is being reported, Shiv, by the Pakistani authorities. It's an attack on the headquarters and military personnel who are either working in tandem over in the vicinity of that area. They've been dead or injured in this strike by Iran, Shiv.
Okay, Dr. Awad, how are you reading this particular attack? How would you analyze this action that's been taken by Iran, using missiles and drones to attack these targets inside Pakistan, sir?
Well, I think it has been going on for some time, even for this is if we consider the number of attacks has been carried out by this terrorist organization, it should be the 15th attack, and they have already earned the responsibility for attacking in December and also in May, and therefore Iran have been repeatedly warning Pakistan to take care of these organizations, halt their activities, remove their terrorist base and training camps. And in fact, in 2017, they have also threatened that they will be attacking. So when this repeated attack has been happening in Iran from all the direction, whether it is from Azerbaijan, whether it is from the Kurdish area of Iraq, or the terrorist organization under the American umbrella in Syria, northern part of Syria, where America is occupying. So Iran felt that the American CIA, the Mossad, Saudis, and the Turkish, and even the ISI are in collaboration and trying to destabilize Iran. So Iran now have taken a military action and have informed the Pakistanis. Now, how much really the Pakistani authorities have been informed, or whether they are only making publicly this noise, but everybody knows that Pakistan have been turning into a hub center of terrorism, though it considers itself as a victim of terrorism. But we all know that Pakistan have been, the jihadi culture started in Afghanistan and in Pakistan during the American support of the Taliban and Al-Qaeda of Osama bin Laden before they kill him. So therefore, they are now, whoever cooked the poison is testing it. And I think Pakistan themselves realized that they are no longer can fight these terrorist organizations, which is creating havoc. And remember also that the Americans also have been attacking many parts of the northern part of Pakistan and the tribal belt and also the Baluch area for a long years. So therefore, if Pakistan does not address these issues internally, I think many countries will step forward to make sure that Pakistan will not be used as a cross-border terrorism against their own.
Dr. Awad, we've just heard just before this show started that Pakistan has decided to recall its ambassador from Iran. There's a diplomatic break between Iran and Pakistan, which was expected, obviously. Like Gaurav was just pointing out, the two sides are actually having diplomatic dialogue in Davos in Switzerland, hours after the bombing actually took place. Pakistan's only reaction so far, sir, has been in the form of a press release expressing outrage and protesting against this attack. Do you see this escalating further? Do you think the ball is now in Pakistan's court? They usually do something to, to play to the gallery, to their domestic audience. Can they sit and do nothing, or do you think it could lead to an escalation?
Well, I don't think Pakistan is ready for any frontier with the Iranian. They have 900 kilometers border. They are already in a deep diving nose, and economically, politically, I don't think they are prepared. But I would also caution even the Pakistani authorities that they should be carefully calculating that the support from vested interest nations to destabilize Iran does not serve the Pakistani interest. Therefore, they know that there is a strong relation between the two countries. In fact, Iran have increased of recently the political and the military joint commissions, joint meetings, and they have also military naval training last January. So if these are all the things have been happening, why Pakistan suddenly woke up to this? If not, has been because of the compulsion, because of the political pressure, of because vested interest nation wanted to see that the ultimatum fight should be between Sunni and Shia, and again coming back to the same calculation of what they want to divide and rule.
And it's very interesting, Gaurav, to pull you in on this. We're seeing a steady escalation in tensions in the region at large involving Iran. Right from the Israel-Hamas flashpoint that began last year, and both of us reported from the front lines there for many, many weeks. We've seen the U.S. airstrikes happening on Houthi targets in Yemen now. The Houthis, of course, are Iran-funded and backed. And now you've got this attack inside Pakistan. So there is an instability that appears to be increasing in the region right now, and it's all centered around Iran, Gaurav.
So Iran is the strongest Shia Muslim country in the region, and it's Iran that actually strengthens Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria and the Hezbollah in Lebanon. So this is what both America and Israel would want to neutralize Iran's advantage, and perhaps Pakistan is a weapon or a tool that is being used. Again, a Sunni Muslim Pakistan targeting a Shia Muslim Iran. But this is where the apprehension is, the fear is shift. This could actually escalate into a major Shia-Sunni conflict within Pakistan and along the Pakistan-Iran border. Can Pakistan afford to do so when Pakistan's already in deep trouble along the AFPAC border again?
Yes.
But that is where in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and you have the Pashtun movement, which is escalating for a wider Pashtunistan. So that is Pakistan's Achilles heel and their worst nightmare. Can they afford multiple borders lighting up at the same time? While they may want to, endear themselves to the Americans, they may be doing that, and Dr. Awad can tell us better, at the cost of a major Shia-Sunni fight between Iran and Pakistan.
They're very important, and I'd like to ask Dr. Awad to throw some light on that aspect about whether the Sunni-Shia affair could actually escalate into an all-out conflagration beyond just the Jaish al-Adl or other groups in southern Balochistan. But also, Dr. Awad, I'd like you to also expand on the fact that if we zoom out, with this diplomatic breakage between Iran and Pakistan, Pakistan has effectively got either non-existent or broken diplomatic relations with three of its big neighbors, India, Iran, and Afghanistan, sir.
Absolutely. That's why I think we should not see this out of the wider perspective, what's happening in West Asia in total. In fact, if we look at the war in Israel, Hamas is nothing limited only to the Palestinian issue. It is also they are targeting the northern part of the south part of Lebanon, where Hezbollah and the resistance forces in Iraq as well, in Iran. So there is what we call as the axis of resistance extended from Iran into the Palestine. That is where the American and the Israeli wanted to break up, and because they wanted to bring into the front is the Abraham Accord, where they wanted to accommodate Israel in the Arab countries at the cost of the Palestinians. That's one of the issues. The second issue, which is of a great importance, is to bring the Yemenis, Houthis, and the Bab al-Mandeb, and also the global trade and economic trade. This is another threat which is going to have a global impact. The third, which is more importantly, I believe, is the India-Iran proximity, especially after the visit of the foreign minister to Iran, which is also to reactivate the Chabahar and also the access to CIS country. Maybe vested interest nation does not want to see India having its foreign, sovereign, independent foreign policy to create such kind of havoc in this region. I don't think it is now we're talking about Sunni Shia, because what's happening in Palestine, it's a majority Sunni, if I want to talk in a communal line. But I would say that Pakistan, it's already divided in a communal line. So where they can they survive such kind of a war? I don't think the Pakistani are interested in any sort of war. They should address and settle their home before there is every country start pointing them at them, and some people will take full advantage to capsize the nuclear weapon of Pakistan and disintegrate it into more states, which will look more like Afghanistan in the making.
A very, very sobering and disturbing point, unsettling given, the way things have gone in the past in Pakistan. One final question to you, Gaurav. As Dr. Awad said, the Indian External Affairs Minister was in Iran just a day before these missile strikes. Now, of course, there's a lot of chatter on social media. That part is not important, but the India-Iran connection and proximity is important given everything we're seeing. What are your sources in the Foreign Office telling you? How is Iran seeing this? How is India seeing this situation?
India's relationship with Iran has been very warm, and India has always charted this independent foreign policy, irrespective of the pressure that actually came from the United States of America. Even during the Donald Trump era, India did not let go of that strong bond with Iran, and India will continue. So Chabahar is something that India wants to take forward. Because of sanctions, there were certain issues that came with the Chabahar port, but India sees Chabahar as a major access to the CIS countries, to Central, not just to Central Asia, but also to Europe. That's very, very significant. India wants to build on that. That's also the alternate access to Afghanistan, again, something that India wants to work on very extensively. But the fact that Pakistan and Iran have major issues right now, that Pakistan has recalled its ambassador from Iran, has told the Iranian ambassador not to come back to Pakistan, suspended all diplomatic ties. Shiv, all of this indicates that there could well be a deep freeze in Pakistan-Iran ties, and that would be a nightmare for Pakistan, as you very rightly pointed out, Shiv. Nightmare for Pakistan on the Afghanistan front, on the Iran front, and of course that perpetual nightmare on the India front.
We're going to be tracking the fallout of these attacks by Iran on Pakistan very, very closely. Gaurav, Dr. Awad, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you very much for your time here on India Today on that analysis. We'll be taking that story forward and getting you some ground reports from both Iran and Afghanistan going into prime time here.